doing? Greg here again. Today we want to do something a little different. We're not showing around or anything like that. We are going to show a couple golf shots, but what I really wanted you guys to do is kind of get familiar with my bag. See what I carry, see why I carry it, not just what's necessarily in the bag as far as clubs go, but even as far as the gear I wear, the tees I use, the ball I use. I feel like getting that kind of insight, can be super helpful for a lot of golfers. Because I'll be honest with you, I had no clue what to do when I first bought my clubs. I literally went to a Golf Galaxy near me, walked in, I saw some clubs, they say Callaway Mavericks on them. I was like, hey, those look pretty. I want those. I had no clue what I was buying. So today we'll talk a little bit about why I have what I have in my bag now, and a couple of things that I'm missing from my bag as well. So let's get started. Ready, guys? So first thing we're going to start off with is my wedges. Out of my wedges, I'd say my 58 degree is my favorite. I play the Vokeys, which are made by Titleist. All mine are SM9s, and I have one SM10. But I play a 58 degree, a 54 degree, and a 50 degree. There's a very specific reason why I play that gapping, is because the irons I play fit exactly. My dog was barking. I saw a passerby. So let's hop back into it. So this 58 degree is my baby. This is actually the club that I got a hole in one with. So I'm actually about to retire it here soon. I'm looking at a different wedge, specifically same exact Vokey. It'll be an SM10, which is their newest model. But I'm looking at a different grind. So I currently play the 58 degree in a S grind with a 10 degree bounce. That bounce is a little too much for me around the greens. I want a little less bounce. And I'm also looking for a different grind, which is the M grind. It's one of Bob Vokey's favorite grinds. The reason I want to play the M grind, it'll give me a little more versatility around the greens. It'll allow me to play different shots that I want to play and give me the turf interaction, meaning, my club will go through the ball exactly how I want it to. I've got to play with it a little bit. I really liked it. So, that'll be coming here soon. As far as the other clubs, I play a 54 degree sand wedge. Same thing, Vokey. It is same thing, 10 bounce, S grind. The reason that they're both S grinds is because I like them both actually out of the sand. I typically play a 58 out of the sand most of the time. Most people probably play a 54, but I love my 58 degree. I spent more time with that club than any other club in my bag. So I'm very, very comfortable with it, especially in greenside bunkers. But if it's not greenside, or I know I'm going to have to put too much on it, I love having that 54 to go to hit out of the sand as well for those little bit longer bunker shots. Here I have my 50 degree. It is same thing, Bob Vokey SM9. I play an F grind with 8 degrees of bounce. This club, I use it around the green a little bit, not very much. It's more of a scoring club for me. That's what I look for in my 50 degree. It's typically, you'll see here later on in the video, about 120, 125 with carry. I feel that's a great number for me to score. My 2-iron and my driver typically put me out at about that distance. So my pitching wedge and my 50 degree are two of my leading scoring clubs. So I always want to make sure that it's playable from the fairway, it's playable from the rough. But I also now do a lot of pitch shots with it. I'm kind of working that part of my game, learning how to hit, that quarter swing, that half swing, that 3/4 swing, 50 degree. So that way, if I have a lot of room into a green and it looks pretty flat and I have room for rollout, I can definitely do it. So let's dig into my irons. I'll actually grab my favorite one out of the entire set, because my pitching wedge is actually part of my set as well. This right here is my baby. This is my 7-iron. The reason it's my baby is because 7 is my daughter's birthday. I firmly believe 7 is a lucky number for me. She was born on July 7th. So for me, 7's always been kind of a lucky number. And I played the Mizuno JPX Tours. So they're the 923s. So not this year's edition, but last year's edition, or the previous model. The reason I play these, they're a tour design, which means they're a forged head. That means that they're one piece forged. There's no hollow body to it. It's just one piece of metal. The reason I love this is because it gives me great feel, but it does have the tiniest little cavity back here. And that little cavity gives me a little extra forgiveness. So, I'm not necessarily, a top of the line ball striker yet. I've only been playing golf for about 3 years. I am a decent ball striker, so I can definitely play a blade, but that little bit of forgiveness helps me on those off center shots. When I hit a little heely or a little toey, it's still going to give me generally the same result. So that's why I like this club a lot. I really love the one piece design, like I said, with the feel. But more than anything, I can shot shape with it. It still has the ability of a blade to shot shape. I can hit my draws. I can hit my fades. As you can see, my dog was barking again. So I can hit a draw. I can hit a fade. I can do majority of the things that I'd want to with this club, but it's also going to be a great club for me to grow into over time. So with this club, when I first got it, I'll tell you, I wasn't necessarily the best ball striker, but it definitely gave me room to grow into this club. And now, I can't imagine playing anything else. I'd see this being my club for quite some time. Let's dig a little deeper into the bag. So one thing I want to talk about, I'm actually playing 2 irons short. I'm playing a 12 club bag right now. And part of my Mizuno JPXs is my 4 iron. And as you can see, it's missing the tip. So I was playing probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and I was swinging this club. When I got fitted for these clubs, I was told I needed to upgrade the shafts, and I didn't listen. And I'm currently playing the Dynamic Gold 120 S300s in extra stiff, but I really was recommended somewhere around a 140 gram shaft. So, I have to get a 130 gram shaft and add on some swing weight. But realistically, as far as control goes for me, that's going to be my sweet spot. And not only that, it'll add a little extra stiffness to the club, help that dispersion get a little tighter. So that'll be coming here soon. So I'll keep you guys updated on when I get these shafts updated, because I definitely need this 4 iron back in the bag. So let's drop down to my 3 iron. So as I said earlier, this is what I like to call Black Knight. It's the only black club I have in my bag outside of my driver, but I don't really count the driver. And just a regular 3 iron. It's a Ping Eye crossover. This was actually the first driving iron I ever bought. It's actually completely stock. I have no upgrades to it. It is the original grip. I bought this straight off the rack. This was during the time I was playing a 3 hybrid, and I was playing the 3 hybrid Mavic, and it was the D version. So for me, I was hitting a draw at the time. It was super strong. So it was with that D setting, meaning setting a draw setting. I was hooking everything, and I was inconsistent. Well, I've always preferred irons over woods and even drivers sometimes, just because I feel most confident when I have an iron in my hand. And so I went to Golf Galaxy, went to go look around, hit a couple of different irons. I hit a Strixon, but this one had, as you can see, a pretty big head on it. And for someone just getting their first driving iron, it was super important for me to have a big head because I wanted to feel confident in the club. And this one also has a higher launch. With the 2 iron, it's lower lofted, or 3 iron is lower lofted. So with it being lower lofted, that means it's not supposed to launch as high. Well, with this hollow body design on this 3 iron right here, it allows the ball to launch higher in the air. So that way I'm not only able to get good hang time, it can hold greens when I need it to as well. So we'll dip down into my second broken club, which is actually probably my top 2 clubs in my entire bag. It's my 2 iron. So this 2 iron right here, I play a Titleist T200 2 iron. It's their driving iron. I picked this iron. This one I got after my 3 iron, and I picked it out specifically because of its turf interaction. We don't talk about turf interaction much, but it's a very important thing when it comes to hitting off of the fairway. So for me, I looked at either this club or it was the Titleist U505. And what it came down to was the thin sole line. It's a lot thinner than the Titleist U505 was. I got probably 5 to 10 yards more distance with the Titleist 5U, the U505, but the problem was I could not hit it off the ground. The sole was too fat for me and it would bounce because naturally I dig into the ground as a golfer. That's my style of play. And this one gave me so much better turf interaction. So I could play it off the fairway. So yes, I may have lost a little distance off the tee, but I'm completely okay with that. So that way I get but I'm completely okay with that. So that way I can get, a more well-rounded club that I can use in more than one area, compared to just off the tee. And right here, I actually broke this club playing out at a local course in Corsicana. The ground was hard as all get out. And, I tried to hit a bomb. And truth be told, I hit a pretty good shot, but it came at the sacrifice of my 2-iron. So Titleist, you'll be hearing from me soon. I don't know why my shaft broke, but I would like a new one, please. All right. Now we got the big dog. So this right here, I play a Callaway Rogue ST Max LS. I was fitted for this driver probably, I'd say, 2 years ago. I love this driver. It's been with me. I play it. It's a 9-degree driver. I play it a degree and a half softer. So it currently plays at a 7.5. I play it in a draw setting because typically what happens is when you lower that degree on that club, it also opens up the club face slightly. I've gone through some swing changes over the past, I'd say, 6 months to really work on my swing path and really getting those hands into the slot. So I play the ball a little further right than I used to. So having that little more controllability over that fade off the tee definitely helps out. And last but not least, all right. And last but not least, we have my club. I call it Excalibur. So Excalibur right here is my Scotty Cameron Phantom X11. I love this putter so much. The reason I play this putter, there's a few reasons. One, I love the bent shaft. It allows me to sit right on top of the ball with the grip close to my body. For me, when I putt, just as a demonstration, I like to keep the club a lot closer to my body than a lot of players. And that offset allows me to, and allow my body to really control that club head. So when I'm doing that, that little bit of offset right there, and it's not only bent to inwards, but it's also bent to the front, so that way I can hold it closer to my body as well. It has an axe handle grip with a classic Scotty Cameron on it. So I like this axe handle grip. I'm not going to lie, it took me some getting used to. I'm a player that grips really low down on the putter. Probably means I need a shorter putter, but I prefer it that way. I feel like it gives me more control. And it just overall, I feel more comfortable with it. So, this club is one of my babies. I love this club to death. It's been through thick and thin with me, and it's hit a lot of really important putts. So a little bit more about my bag. Another thing I play, one of the most important things in my bag is my rangefinder. So right here, I have the Precision Pro NX7. I believe it's the older model. I love this thing to death. It's super important to have a rangefinder in your bag, especially when you're playing a course that doesn't have yardages on the screens or doesn't have a screen whatsoever. Because, for me, if I don't know what the yardage is of the hole, I don't know what club to use because I strictly know my clubs off of yardages. So knowing that yardage is a big game changer for me when it comes to scoring, especially when I'm close to the tee. It allows me to really dial in that number. So now let's dig into the pockets, guys. So always got to have a Sharpie. I'm big on marking my golf balls. I play a very specific mark. I think I probably have a couple marked ones in here. Yep. So this is an old ball. I currently don't play a Titleist 1. I play a Titleist 7. I play a Pro V1, and I play the newest model. I play number 7 for my daughter. You know, growing up, I didn't have a family. So I feel very honored to be able to have a daughter. And a daughter as great as the one I have. Man, they're just riding that bicycle, Vic. They're going in circles. They are. It's the same person each time. Let me see. Hold on, real quick. Let me see if I have one in here that's an 8. That's a Pro V1 at least. All right, ready, Vic? All right, guys. So yeah, so I play a Pro V1, Titleist Pro V1. I typically play the number 7. This is just a ball that I had to get because I ran out of balls. I always play with the ball mark on here. I use this little guy right here. You can buy it off of Amazon. It is a game changer when it comes to putting, especially on my longer putts. It allows me to really dial in that read. And it allows me, these little cross lines right here allow me to align that club face perfectly with the ball so I can make sure my club face is straight. I'll tell you, a lot of the people don't do this, but it's a game changer when it comes to putting. And I have 3 dots, and that's another thing that represents my family. So the 3 dots are me, my wife, and my daughter. So that way, you know, I have something sentimental with me on the golf course because golf can be a sentimental game. You know, what else I have in here? Got another Sharpie. Got a divot tool with one of my favorite courses on here, Tangle Ridge. Got a ball marker right there. I got a couple different ball markers in here that I use, really just 2. So this first one's very sentimental to me. It's from Stevens Park. Stevens Park's a local course here in Dallas. It's a beautiful course, and it is actually my great-grandfather's home course. You know, growing up, I didn't have the best childhood. I didn't have a lot of things that most people had. So, you know, I never dreamed of being able to play a course like that one day. And, you know, here I am now. You know, I get to play it once a month with my daughter. So the first time I ever played it, it was super sentimental, and I got this ball marker. And my daughter has the same exact one, you know, just in case she happens to pick up golf. But I got this, and it's a reminder of my great grandfather. And anytime I carry it in my pocket, I feel special. Second one is from Torrey Pines. I love Torrey Pines. Torrey Pines is a beautiful course. My sister-in-law actually lives right off of Torrey Pines. You know, so beautiful course. Why not have a ball marker? All right. And let's dig into what tees I play. So I actually play 2 different sets of tees. I play the professional tee systems. I play plastic tee only in the spring, summer, and fall. During the winter, I typically play a wooden tee because they don't bend, and the ground's pretty hard here in Texas because we do have winter golf. I play them in 2 lengths. I have the first one. This is usually something I hit off of, you know, the tee box. This is my driver tee. I exclusively use this for my driver. I typically put it just below. If you can see the yellow line, I put it just past the yellow line. I only like, I'd say, probably about 1.5 inches of the tee showing. Because I typically like to play the ball a little lower whenever I'm hitting with the driver. The second one I play is this 1.5 inch tee. It's perfect because I love hitting a 2 iron off the tee box. I love hitting a 3 iron off the tee box. You know, if I want to hit, let's say, a really clippy wedge, and I want to get a lot of groove interaction, you know, I may pull out a tee. So these little tees, always a good little thing to have in your bag. As far as my bag goes, I have a Callaway bag. I love this bag. It's from Country View, which is my home course. Country View's in Lancaster, Texas. It's probably the hardest course you'll ever play that it doesn't have a single sand bunker on it. I got this bag right after my hole-in-one to remember it by. Originally I had the very first golf bag I ever bought. I just went to, like I said, Golf Galaxy, grabbed the cheapest one. So now this bag has sentimental value to me. It reminds me of my hole-in-one. It reminds me of home course. It reminds me of all those rounds that I played trying to learn the game of golf there. So super sentimental to me. Outside of that, I have my rain jacket. Always got to have a rain jacket. So I play a little FootJoy rain jacket. Shout out Titleist. Outside of that, I have a spare glove. Typically play a Titleist Permasoft glove. I like that it's a little thicker. I got my rain cover just in case I'm walking and need to cover the clubs. Let's see. One more pocket. I got 2 sleeves of Pro V1s in here. And guys, that about wraps up my bag. So, one last thing, guys. So, shoes. One thing I never hear talked about is shoes when it comes to golf. I don't know about you guys. I like to walk sometimes. So I play a very specific shoe. These are the FootJoy Titleist Premiers. They're their weather joys. So basically, it allows me to never have my feet wet while I'm walking. But more importantly than anything, it has orthopedic insoles. I'm a disabled veteran. I have problems feeling things from my knees down to my toes. My legs go numb. So it's super important that I have extremely stable base whenever I'm walking on the golf course because my legs do go numb on the golf course. So having that reassurance that I have the orthopedic insoles and that this shoe is built for walking makes me feel more comfortable. And not only that, it takes a lot of stress off my legs, but more than anything, gives me a firm base to hit those shots. I play spiked golf shoes. So some people play spikeless. I like spikes. I always play the soft spikes. I like it because I'm a big guy. And when I'm really trying to get after the ball, being able to hold on to the ground is super important. I can slip a lot whenever I try to really swing out of my shoes. So having that firm base, always really, really important thing. But that's about it, guys. So that's my bag. That's my shoes. This is my house. Thank you guys for being here. We'll be releasing some more content here soon. So we'll be hopefully hearing from you guys here in the comments.